do you have an opinion of Judge Brennan's truthfulness?
Before all of this and all of the information that I've learned, I would have said that she was a truthful person. But since I have learned numerous things that have come out during this investigation, the things that she has claimed, the things that she has said other people have done and not done, and I know those things to not be true, at this point, I do not believe that she's a truthful person.
And can you give us any specifics?
Things that she has said about Christy Cox that are not true, that she had a closed head injury. Things that she claimed about, some of the things you probably already heard testimony about, things about the divorce, her divorce, and the recusal situation. And I know that she was not truthful about the contacts, phone contacts that she had with Sean Furlong during the Kowalski trial. And because I've seen the records, and actually I haven't seen the records, I was asked about them in the deposition. They were pointed out to me about the phone calls. And I had heard that she had denied any contact, or maybe one contact, or interrupted Sean Furlong when he said there was no contact between them during the trial.
If she said she never had a conversation with you about kissing Sean Furlong, would that be truthful in your opinion?
Would she be truthful?
Yes.
No.
While you were friends, you said you knew that Officer Furlong used the Root Brennan cottage on occasion.
Correct.
Sometimes he was there, I believe we know one instance, the swimming pool party.
That wasn't at the cottage.
That was at the house, that's right. At the cottage, you were there sometimes when he was there?
Only once.
And other people were there as well.
Correct.
How did you learn that he used the cottage other times? Did he tell you?
He did and she did.
So all you know is that over a 3-year period of time, maybe once a year or so, he was given use of the cottage in the course of a summer.
That is correct.
And to the best of your knowledge, Teresa wasn't there, Teresa and her husband weren't there. He was the user of the cottage.
I do know that she was there when he was there,
All the time?
at least one time or 2 times. It is my understanding that she was there at the time, at least on 2 occasions, when Sean Furlong was there and her husband was not there.
Anyone else was there?
Kim Morrison and Chris Corbo.
He was allowed to use the cottage, and you don't know whether other people were there or it was he and whom he chose to bring.
Or he could have been alone.
Oh, exactly. And then you knew there were times he was at the cottage when the judge and Ms. Morrison and others were there as well.
Chris Corbo. What I'm saying is, I don't know if that was during the time period where Sean traditionally used the cottage, or if it was a separate time.
So when you say traditionally, there seemed to be a set time, as I recall,
June.
early June,
June.
that he would go there.
Correct.
And you've said that you have subsequently learned that there weren't things that Judge Brennan was truthful about. We talked yesterday about the swimming pool incident at the house, correct?
Correct.
And you said that was in the summer and warm weather.
Yes.
Do you remember that, in fact, it was so chilly people had to build a bonfire to keep warm?
I don't recall that.
Now, if it turns out that that's what happened, it wasn't warm weather, it was chilly fall, were you just mistaken? Or is your truthfulness something to be questioned?
Well, I'm assuming it was warm because I would not put on a bathing suit and go in a pool if it was cold outside.
We're going to talk about truthfulness. You say you saw everyone get in the pool with their bathing suits on, and to your recollection, everyone got out of the pool with their bathing suits on.
I said either with their bathing suits on or a
Or
towel.
towels. Did you get out with the towel, or did you get out with the bathing suit on?
I got out with a towel.
Did you stand on the edge of the pool with that towel and open it up, exposing yourself nude and dancing with the towel?
I did not.
other people said you did, should we question your truthfulness?
I'm telling you, I didn't do it.
You're also telling us it's simply not true that you were in fact engaged in at least a dating, if not a sexual relationship with Mr. Furlong for a period of time.
I was not involved in a dating relationship with Sean Furlong. I have had sex with Sean Furlong.
That after you left, you believe that portion of your testimony was incomplete and brought that to the attention of Mr. Swastak. So I brought you back so that you could tell us what was incomplete.
Thank you. I wanted to be brought back. When I was being asked questions by counsel, I answered the questions that were asked. When I left, I felt uncomfortable because I think it needed clarification. I do recall when I was going back into the house with my towel on, walking up the stairs, before I went into the house, there were about 4 or 5 people that were sitting at the table, because there was a table and chairs on that deck that overlooks the pool. And as I was walking up those steps and going back into the house, I did open my towel and probably shimmied, closed it, and then continued to go back into the house. I did not do a dance naked next to the pool. And I do recall when that dinner party was, that pool would have taken place. It was May 21st of 2011.
When you say you recall, how do you recall a specific date?
I reviewed my notes when I left the room.
And why would you have notes about something like that?
It became apparent to me after the questioning in the divorce deposition and how much of a big magnitude this perhaps may turn into, and I found out that there were numerous phone calls between Judge Brennan and Sean Furlong during the Kowalski trial. I sat down and I thought, I really should make some time frames of things and keep track of conversations, recollections, dates. I went through my calendar, and I made some notes in regards to that.
Okay.
So that's my recollection of when that, based on information I looked at in my calendar in the past.
Thank you. I have no further questions then, Your Honor.
Anything else, Counsel?
A few. So you answered accurately the questions I asked you, correct?
Correct.
And then you decided that there was more you wanted to say.
I needed clarification.
You weren't asked, but you volunteered the clarification.
Correct.
And are you now telling us you danced nude a little bit, or that never happened?
I don't believe I would characterize it as dancing.
What did you do?
Open my towel and flash some people.
You also said that you started keeping notes because you heard there had been numerous calls between the judge and the detective during the Kowalski trial.
Correct.
I believe the examiner says there were 2, maybe 3. Do you consider that numerous?
I consider any calls between a judge and a lead investigator during a homicide trial a big deal and inappropriate.
Well, that's not what you said before. You said there were numerous calls. Now it's any call if there'd been one. That would have been something that was significant and you'd come back to tell us about it, or that's why you started taking notes.
No, my understanding is that there were numerous calls during the trial up until the time that the defendant was sentenced. And that's quote unquote during the trial, during the case.